Bueno, hablando un poco sobre Acércate al Grant, speaking a bit about Acércate al Grant, Juan asked me to share a bit more about the process and how we worked the program in 2021, some of the things that worked, and I guess some of the things that we're going to be doing in this new cohort, this new iteration of the program. So in 2021, we began with basically a call for proposals or an open application. So, people that were interested working with a technology or some sort of research that they thought was innovative, they just submitted their application to us. And we, throughout the process, had various outreach sessions, information sessions, and just communicating and educating the audience about what the SBIR programs are, what types of things are considered innovation, because not everything that is innovative is necessarily innovative under the definition of the SBIR programs. And also, we had a panel or a group of reviewers that were looking at these applications to make sure that we selected companies that did have the potential to eventually get an SBIR award. Throughout the process, Juan, Valentina, and other partners in the ecosystem were very important to get to this level. So we connected with university partners, researchers, other important actors within the trust, and so on, to have diversity of the people that had expertise to look at these applications and make sure that we selected these companies. Once we did that selection, as we mentioned, we had 14. We originally had 15, but one of them dropped out to the process. Those 14 companies then started working with grant writers. We looked at each of the companies. We tried to understand what their technologies were, what their needs were, and what they needed to do in order to get that SBIR. So we connected them with experts that could align with their industry or their background. So for example, researchers that had more expertise in health, we connected them with grant writers that had more expertise in health, so on and so forth. Through that process, the grant writer serves not just as the person that helps you, in a way, write the grant, but also as a mentor to help you understand the technology, its feasibility, a bit of the commercialization aspects, and also how the agency is looking at the technology so that you can better align your proposal. So, it's a very, in a way, personalized or customized to the person, because each technology is very, very different. Once these companies have finished writing that proposal, there could be other supports that we provided. So for example, some companies did not have their registration in Puerto Rico. We connected them with a law firm here that helped them throughout that process, also get their registrations in SAMS.gov and other important registrations within the federal ecosystem so that they could actually access the grants. And then the process of submitting that grant. Once that happens, it all depends on the agency, the time that they take to review the proposal, to actually approve it, and then to disperse the funds. So in the case of Puerto Rico, I think they submitted around September, and they got their funds at like March the next year. And Into Health, something similar. I think they submitted about January, and they got their grants like at the summer. So
6 months,
yeah, about 6 months. So it all depends on the agency and also, how long that agency takes to approve and disperse the funds. Aside from the company, submitting that SBIR proposal and getting their approval, the trust also offers the matching grant, the matching funds. So for example, a phase 1 award will get $100,000, and then a phase 2 will get $200,000. These funds that the trust provides helps the entrepreneur or the researcher cover some of the costs that the SBIR grant itself does not allow for. So, for example, there was an entrepreneur earlier speaking about building his company and having to do the grant management side, accounting, and all that. Well, some of these funds, correct me if I'm wrong, the matching fund that the trust provides allow for you to cover some of those costs. So that's a bit of the way the process works. What we're doing now in this new iteration for 2024 is we're also including, that outreach and training portion of the program. So we want to make sure that the companies that apply do have the potential and that they are not necessarily prepared, but yet they are educated about what SBIR is and ready, for the responsibility that the program like this expects from the entrepreneur or the researcher. We also want to do a bit of matchmaking. So we know that there are some entrepreneurs that are interested in innovating, and we know that there are researchers that are doing the innovations. But there's a gap there between those two groups, and we also want to help introduce those people together and make sure that there's opportunity for them to submit the SBIRs. We also will be working with a lot more partners this time around. So we do expect to have a better or improved selection and evaluation process. We do want to work with more companies. So we're looking at how we can increase the amount of people that are supporting you throughout the process. Once you're selected, again, you'll be paired with mentors and grant writers to help you out, build the proposal and then submit. And depending on the company, we're also expecting to be able to provide some support for what the company needs, like registrations or anything of the sort. Another aspect is, once the company submits, we're also including other partners that work with investments or access to capital. So if SBIR is not the only route that the company can take, these other partners can also assess the readiness of the technology, the company, if they decide to invest or enter other programs within the ecosystem. Think, for example, Parallel 18's Accelerator, Bravo Family Foundation Rising Entrepreneurs, CDVCA's Unlock Capital, and so on and so forth, many other programs. We want to make sure that the entrepreneur has options, or opportunities outside of SBIR in case it's not successful. Colmena 66, for example, we want to help you to identify other resources in Puerto Rico that you can also, receive some support from. And so, from there, we submit the proposals and see what happens. So yeah, it's part of the process. We're looking at how we can continue strengthening relationships with partners in the ecosystem. For example, here is Lorena from the Healthcare Innovation Center. There's also Adriana Morera from el Centro de Innovación y Comercialización de la UPR. And so many other more. Por ejemplo, Jaime también, que ha trabajado con nosotros anteriormente como grant writer. And so many other partners in Puerto Rico that we're connecting, and also some partners from the U.S. So we're trying to find a way to coordinate and align these different programs to make sure that entrepreneurs and researchers like you can access these types of opportunities, and if not, that you find alternative ways to make sure that you can continue developing your projects and your companies.
Do you have any firm deadlines for some of these steps?
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
So Juan asks me if we have some deadlines for these steps. Not yet. We're actually in the process of planning and coordinating the whole thing. But we do expect to be launching the application during next year, the first quarter. And from there, continue on with the process. But no deadlines yet. But we will be sure to contact you. We do have your information from the registrations and also the wait list that I shared in the beginning. So we want to make sure that we can continually engage you and share information with you. And if you're interested, that you apply and that we can help you throughout the process.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Questions?
Yeah, I have two questions. One is for how often are applications open throughout the year for SBIR or STTR? Yeah, I can.
I think Juan can answer that much better than me, but there's some companies or some agencies that do have their applications open year-round, and others have specific deadlines. The best way to check out is sbir.gov, and they have a solicitations or a topics section, and there you can see the dates for each one. You want to?
Some of them have 3 deadlines, and for example, NSF. Before you submit, you have to write an elevator pitch. And this is not for financing, but it's to get your ideas in a succinct manner so that the program director could identify and say whether it has a chance of even being considered. But that is open all year for the elevator pitch. And then if it's a good elevator pitch or a convincing elevator pitch, then they invite you to submit a proposal. Everything else is about 3 times a year.
Okay.
So thanks. Have you gotten the theme of what we're trying to do here? What we're trying to do is just take away any excuses that you may have to submit an SBIR. If you identify any other block, we will discuss it. No excuses, all right? So we're going to have Jaime, Dr. Santiago, which followed, was part of the Acércate grant, and he worked with a company that won an NSF. Oh, he has a question? Oh, okay, sorry. For him?
Yeah.
You take it.
Yeah, I was wondering, does Acércate grant provide guidance on how to register for being eligible to apply to an SBIR or STTR?
Yeah, the idea is to be able to help you identify the agencies that you could submit to with your potential project and also help you out with all those steps. Yes.
So my question is regarding, I think that he answered part of my question, that it was that do you need to already have an SBIR? So you're helping for the application process, right? But are you looking for, in your cohort of the Colmena 66, are you looking for some kind of companies? Do you have service companies or all kinds of companies? Because I've seen that Guayacan has some.
Yeah. I guess we don't have a specific requirement, but we do want to be able to assess that what the company is working on, the technology or the research is innovative in terms of what SBIR asks for, and then you have the commitment to go through the program because, as was mentioned here before, it is difficult. There are a lot of steps that you need to complete throughout the process, and we are available to help and to connect you with different resources, but we need to make sure that you as a company or as a researcher that's entering this space, you're committed to what you want to build and that you complete the process completely.